I actually do. I kind of hate what GAM really drafted over there, which is of course something that's a negative thing, as well as we see Renekton Plush also coming to the Rift. Cerberus definitely being a good one over there, as we see level 1 already started and already a flash from Kati being blown. Either way, GAM in this game, I think, very much relies on Kiaya, either one v9 with his Jace pick that he has been denied of quite a bit in this split, and also their mid-jungle game access, really snowballing in this early game. Really propel ahead, because otherwise I think Cerberus doesn't really fall off anywhere really. I mean, the Olaf is of course a known pick that tends to fall off late game, but not this high resource intensive changeman in the top lane, and they still keep going for it.
Yeah, fighting the Lovers lane of the Xayah Rakan at level 1, never the best idea. Rono P did get chunked out, but Style having to burn both of his summoners, actually giving a huge lead to Cerberus' bot lane early.
And you definitely don't want them to have that. I mean, it's Artemis on Xayah and 1 OP on Rakan, one of the strongest bot lanes you can really have in the VCS in general, despite Cerberus not really being that stellar in the split overall. I mean, they still made playoffs, which they have failed to do so, I think, the last time. And them being on the 4th place, of course, kind of being thrown into the fire wing, as I think Rebel pointed out on the desk. So they definitely have a tough challenge ahead. They are the clear underdogs today. And I think if they can't even win with this draft, I think it will be a 3-0. But this draft is definitely something that I am hopeful for. And also them playing Draktar this time. It's showing that they are confident within the Draktar system to play it and don't roll the ego dice just yet, or even not at all. We will see.
I think there's something interesting just in this early game before we get into that classic VCS constant action that I kind of want to talk to you about. Because as you said, and obviously I agree with you, Cerberus, clear underdog here. No one really expects them to win this series. GAM is just that dominant. But I actually think that gives Cerberus quite a lot of freedom in a way, because there's no pressure on you. If you lose, okay, yeah, you're up against GAM. You're not expected to win that. But if you win, you're in an insane position for the rest of playoffs, because you're now in that upper bracket and you can make a real run to the finals.
And not only that, you also can officially afford to lose one series, because we have a double elimination bracket over there, right? Because I mean, would assume that they would lose to GAM, and either way, they can maybe, in that situation, still win a lower bracket one. I mean, we have seen some famous lower bracket ones in esports in general in the first place, right? And Cerberus, I mean, we have seen them beating SBTC, them beating Team Wales. That's not really the issue in the bigger thing. That they're definitely capable of doing that. And I mean, if they have a good start right now, even with not even winning the series, they can already make good arguments for a lower bracket one.
It's very possible, but we do have a play coming in as Kiaya, he's caught out. The Viego was here, low health on the Jace. He goes down, Punt picking up first blood. It looks like it's going to be followed with a second. And oh my word, they picked the Olaf early. And that is why they did it.
They absolutely did, but also a very huge fumble from GAM with Kiaya facing the situation as the bot lane is already partying as well.
We have more and more plays. This is what I said about classic VCS action. But it's led to a 3-kill lead for Cerberus. They come out swinging.
They absolutely do. I mean, I still need to talk about this first play, as we have seen here, the replay coming out for the side of Kiaya, really facing up too deeply into the situation and dying to Punt's damage. He also started the boots, and still, without these combats, that's still strong enough to fight this 2v2 skirmish in the melee department, and that's of course a great start for their side. Also the bot lane, as we see it here, Flash, Rakan, Grand Entrance coming out, Artemis hitting all these feathers, and with the Ignite, also Style falling down. Very strong bot lane play by the side of Cerberus, and they absolutely come out swinging, and already are snowballing both their side layers, while they are also, as I said, not scaling terribly here.
Yeah, and you have to say, this does come back to that level 1 decision by the GAM bot lane to go into the enemy jungle, try and have a heads-up scrap with the Lovers lane, wherein Style had to burn his flash. It means he is completely powerless at level 3. There's nothing you can do about a flash Rakan engage if you don't have a flash of your own.
Exactly. That's why it's so good into these very pleasant Chanter lanes, right? You are scaling great. You actually are. This is this one point where they objectively outscale the enemy team, right? In the side lanes. And this not really working in the early game, definitely a huge blow to them as well. Of course, Punt snowballing in the top lane. As we see, he's not really like snowballing with his items, as he's going for plate steel caps and a bit of HP in the first place. But still, that's just enough for him to deny all this poke from the Jace to still just play for these all-ins. Look, he's double buffed. This is so disgusting for Kiaya to play. Like, usually pick this Jace to have at least a decent laning phase, right? But against his Olaf, it looks so rough right now.
Put in the cage. Viego's coming in. Draktar does land the CC. Cardi ults, but it doesn't matter because Yado hits him with the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile.
Yeah, absolutely does. Also, the evil laugh coming up by the side of Yado, and he rightfully has the last laugh in this play. Now, all lanes on the side of Cerberus snowballing. The Viego pick also having some pick in the early game where he doesn't really have to do so. Well, he's still really good well against the Sejuani. And Kati, he has his flash, but he can't get out of this situation as there's just enough CC on the side of Cerberus with the Vega cage, with also the Spectral Marker from Drakthar and Cerberus. Definitely a huge start to them.
And I mean, look, we may only be 6 minutes into this game, so I don't want to get ahead of myself, but so far, Drakthar making an excellent case for Ego Who, as he has been perfect so far. He read Levi to perfection with the top lane counter gate, picked up 2 kills for the Olaf that is going to snowball and snowball, goes into the mid lane. I have no idea how that Spectral Maw hit. It looked like there were minions absolutely everywhere, but he does that perfectly. And now, 100%, not quite 100% kill participation, there was the bot lane kill, of course, but he's in a fantastic position, and he's gotten his team into an even better one.
And he's actually also playing Ego's signature champion, right? I mean, Viego was one of his biggest picks. It was the Viego and the Kindred mostly from the Winter Split that they actually won off, as we are here seeing. It's actually GAM going for this first wave, no contest whatsoever from the side of Cerberus, which kind of surprises me, as they definitely had like some decent chances to get the bottom priority, but you don't really have to underestimate Zebi Lulu all too much in this situation. They definitely can hold their own in general, despite what we have seen at the level 3 mark where they got to be 2'd. In general, still a very strong lane. And here we see the first move. The mid-jungle access from GAM, I spoke about them. They need to make some noise in the early game, and they look to do so.
Drakthar's on his way down. I don't know if he's going to get here in time as the bot lane trying to get away. Charm lands, but Artemis cleansing it well. A knock up onto Levi. Ron OP will fall. And the health bars are low, but not 4v2able kind of low. So GAM do strike back.
Yeah, Drakthar knew it. They saw it all coming, but they still doesn't mean that they actually can prevent it. It was a 4v2 bot lane dive still coming up by the side of GAM. And they at least get one kill, also getting Artemis Cleanse, a very important cooldown. And they need to punish him pre-6 before he really has his Feather Storm to really evade all those ganking situations. And it's at least like one kill for them. However, I think that's not enough. And also there's potential counterplay in the cross map.
Kiaya trying to turn it around, just goes in onto Pun, but he's going to get run down. Needs to land the next axe. He does, and that's going to be a dead Jace. No hope here. Yado even donated the kill, and that Veigar is even further ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a second kill for Yado. Also, he on this scaling build, where he definitely still needs to have some time, despite the good early game, to really snowball into this game, where he goes for the Word of Ages plus tier combination to be kind of pseudo tanky even as a Vega pickup and still being such a CC machine with the Event Horizon, the strongest basic spell in the game, but also insane damage output. As we have seen, why is Style shutting down Pun in the off screen? Why is Style even in the same lane?
Yeah, it looked like they just rotated up to cover the wave and potentially make a chomp at the Rift Herald. Pun just caught getting greedy here.
Yeah, it's like the Olaf classic to some extent, right? It's Berserker Rage, right? You have all these bonus attack speed and you want to abuse it when you are low HP, so you get even more of that one. And yeah, he just falls prey to a AD carry with Flash. You can just easily kill him. And that's a huge shutdown actually given to the side of Style and might just be one way in to get like the foot into the door on the side of GAM. Because in general, I just have to say their early game hasn't really been stellar in this series in particular. And Cerberus so far having the clear upper hand despite being the underdog.
It is worth saying that GAM's early games have really been nothing special this entire split, despite the lossless record. It is not the early game that has been getting them across the lines, so we'll see if Cerberus can keep the foot on the gas, because that's what really matters here. And this man in the mid lane is someone I'm really watching as the important player. He has traditionally not been amazing in playoffs, has Yado.
Absolutely, he has been known as a choker, has been the reverse choker in this one playoffs where they actually won the title, but it was a Mickey Mouse split, we all know that, but Yado in general in the split has been one of the better players, and in recent times actually, even without playoffs choking aside, but he wasn't really that stellar in general in this split. He definitely seems to have putting in the numbers in the training department and definitely being a better player as we see him just now completing his Word of Ages. Actually, he sold his Amton that he had before and just to kind of bend it, fix the power gap that the Vega usually has around the 1 item mark. And just now can start stacking. The clock is ticking very, very early for them. And 10 minutes already starting to stack the Word of Ages is very, very soon. Usually it's like 30-minute mark and he will be very short to complete this one and potentially get this free level very early on.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they do want to continue trying to snowball him. Levi coming in. Ooh, not much he can do about this one. Yado flashing away. Does get away from the charm. Is there any follow-up? No, there's not. He manages to dance his way out.
He's just better. I mean, very cocky position for him in the first place, but him only using the flash and just being able to evade the charm, evade all the important CC. I mean, the Glacial Prison hit him, but that alone wasn't enough to really get the kill. And also great play by the Event Horizon to still be able to get out of this situation. Means it's just a flash being down, not the end of the world, but of course a window for Levi and Kati to punch it within this next 5 minutes. And I think they have to, because otherwise I think the game just gets completely out of their control.
That it does, but the game is not out of control yet. It is only about a 2k gold lead in the favor of Cerberus. A lot of that is in Pun as well, who of course is just up in the top lane, bullying Kiaya, having a bit of a go at him, flashing forward, but misses the axe, taking 2 tower shots. He's in a lot of trouble now. Dodges the shock blast though, Kiaya can't follow up.
If that Undertow hits, it's a very dead Kiaya over there. You not combining the flash with the Undertow itself is kind of a misplay in my opinion. I think if you time them completely together with each other, he can't really sidestep this one on the side of Kiaya, so definitely a small fumble by him. But at least he doesn't go down, so not the end of the world. But dropping this wave, not getting the kill over there, definitely something that hurts him. And we see also his adaptation in the item, but he goes to Stride Breaker route, so we can guarantee these all-ins into these range champions when they're actually happening. And then another face check.
Yeah, but Style is actually just firing back. Featherstorm coming out. Can't quite pull back yet. There it is, rooting them up. And that will just be Artemis backing off. You don't want to fight an ulting Zeri.
Absolutely not, even when your power spike is actually better. But there's
when
the
you've
cavalry.
got the boys coming in, Style forced towards Strakthar. The CC doesn't land, so Artemis goes down. Traded back to Yado, but you'll take a 1-for-1 there.
Where Artemis L, I just gotta say it. I mean, usually he's the one already being the individually better ADC in basically every situation, but this one was kind of a fumble from this one, not being in the position to flash this one, or even being in the position in the first place to go down to Styles DPS is something that shouldn't happen. I think he also had his Gale Force available for this play, so definitely something where he just needs to trust his boys to deal the damage. I think they wanted to funnel the kill on towards Artemis because they have seen that he was kind of struggling in the 2v2 despite the early lead, but this wasn't.
Hang on. More in the top lane. Kiaya having to flash.
Yeah, goes for flash trade, also ultimate being burned, but in general, just shows that Olaf still really has the power in this matchup, and that's like the thing with Olaf in general. Over the years, Olaf was known as a champion that kind of falls off, but this isn't really the case anymore, especially with him being top lane, being soft reworked, because he still gets so many resources and he doesn't really play in towards the competition that can really kill him easily. So this one,
we have a dragon fight. The Rakan locked up, but the baby cage buying so much space, and now Cerberus turning it around. Levi having to flash, going low. Will not be there for the smite fight. Drakthar will be, but Dragon resetting for now. Yado full health. Levi on an absolute sliver. Charm lands. Artemis going low. Style gets wild growth. Moving forward, trying to get that Zeri DPS going. Yado is in the front of it, taking the brunt. And oh no, they've turned it around, and GAM on the back of Style will get the drag.
They get the drag due to the indecisiveness from Cerberus, with them not really committing to either the fight or the Drake itself, so it ends up being Style on the wild growth there, just being able to basically walk away the whole enemy team with just his presence alone, and nets GAM this second Drake also just barely missing on this plating money is something that they are overall happy with. This one overall being evenly traded with 875 gold for each team, and them being down a few in gold. It's a bit more than 1k by now. I think they kind of stabilized within this game, and also getting to Drakes is something that they can definitely be happy about. This just now kind of slows the game down. I think that's something that Cerberus wasn't too happy about, despite their scaling being so good.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out, I said it before, most of the gold lead is on Pun. Of course, he was not involved in that dragon fight, so if you're wondering how on earth GAM got over the line there, that's how. You just didn't actually have the gold to bring to bear. Artemis is behind Style fairly significantly in terms of current upfront power. And you can see it in that fight. Oh, hello.
He is, and it's actually his fault this time, but this is Levi, potentially asking Pun for a leash over there, and Pun can't really contest the Bramble back itself. Could potentially all in the Sejuani, of course, but with Style lurking on the corner, that's not a good idea. So we see Kati maybe falling to prey to some damage, and that's not a good Herald charge.
It's not, but it was just the second Herald, so I don't think they were too... Oh, no, it wouldn't have been the second Herald.
Wait, Yado solo kill Kiaya.
Oh, hello. He did. How has that happened?
That's top lane side lane gameplay. I think he
just
pressed
caught in the baby cage, I guess.
Must be. I mean, even if you don't really catch him, you still just prevent him from running away, and then maybe Yado pressed all his buttons. He's Vega in the current patch, which is absolutely broken, and I want to credit Yado for this one, but he already did the work beforehand, I gotta say. And yeah, we will maybe see a replay of that one, but I mean, the observers maybe know that we know that's just Vega gaming right now.
Yeah, but I love seeing some Vega gaming, so let's have a look at it.
Yeah, he presses the cage, misses the W, hits 1Q, hit the ult, actually the auto attack, stylish play actually. I take everything back.
Yeah, that was actually stylish as hell. Yeah, I'm on board. I'm a Vega gamer. Always been... Fun fact, the first skin I ever bought in League of Legends was White Mage Vega.
That's a good skin. Is it a legacy skin? I don't quite remember.
It's a legacy skin. It's a glorified Chroma, but it was also in like season 2.
Yeah, just old skins. Like remember, like the Swamp Cannon or something. That's like if it would be released right now, it would be a Chroma. Otherwise, even Riot would be ashamed of it. Either way.
Yeah.
Speaking of this, we see Artemis grabbing this cannon minion. He's also kind of falling behind, as you said earlier. And that's kind of the sad thing, right? He was on the stronger early game pick, got the first 2v2 kill, but still not enough to really contain Xavi Lulu as a combination itself, because they are just so strong in the current patch as well. And now it's kind of Style and him being enchanted by his team, being enabled by his team, versus everything that Yado and Pan mostly have up their sleeve. And this time, Artem is actually on the back foot. This is something that's very rare for Cerberus, and I want to see how they really play it out, because this is something that they really aren't used to.
Very true, as Yado continuing to get more gold funneled into him, as they're going to give him this solo tower. Cardi's not going to be here in any sort of shape to defend it. This is a huge Vega.
Mm-hmm. And he kind of does everything. That's the point with current Vega, right? It just actually makes him sort of tanky, and he is already a great damage champion in general, and has the Event Horizon as one of his spells, so that's not really something that the enemy team can really do against him, other than hard engage him and blow everything onto him and hope he dies. Otherwise, you're kind of screwed in that situation. So he will demand a lot of attention from GAM, no matter how he really plays, unless he completely ins it, but I hope that Yado is capable of not doing this one. And it's kind of just the late game hope of Style really doing anything. Or as Yue pointed out in the chat, actually Jace in the late game on the side of Kiaya, he can definitely still do some damage, soften up all these members before they really hit the turrets or hit the objectives in general.
Ooh, Cerberus might have made a bad decision here, as Yado chunked very low, but actually does manage to clear the wave, so their mid lane stays alive for now. I don't think you want to keep giving too many resources for this, with GAM rotating in all 5. I think you can just let this tower go.
You probably should, and also prepare in your mind for this next wave. It's also a good situation for GAM, relatively, I gotta say, because while they are behind, they still have this excellent poke setup. You kind of know where the enemy roughly has to walk towards, and this is, of course, easy. Even for the 0-3 Jace, right? He is on this one item power spike. He definitely still hits like a truck onto those squishy members. And who also hits like a truck is, of course, Yado, right? If Yado gets positioning, if Cerberus gets positioning on towards his Drake, you can't really face check it. That's what they realize. It's Death Cap Vega already. He even skips the Cerberus embrace. It's a broken competition on this patch.
I love that.
And Yado wants to one-shot people. He knows he maybe has to carry this game, so he's going for it.
Yeah, and I love that. I respect the hell out of that. Yado making the call that he has to be the man this game. He's going to do his best to do it. Ooh, Cardi landing a charm. Artemis wants this one regardless. He actually missed an auto attack there onto a minion, but I don't think he would have had the damage regardless.
But there's also a small snare into the turret, I think. I remember seeing this one. And yeah, Artemis potentially with Flash, with ultimate up. It could have been a kill for his side, even with him tanking this charm. And here is Yado, of course. That's like one of those things that's in the game for a few years right now. These AP champions actually also hit like a truck on towards these structures with all this AP scaling for the auto attacks. And yeah, if he looks at the turret funny, if he looks at anything funny, that thing usually dies.
Yeah, I mean, Yado is basically playing the game of, I pick a person to kill every fight as they go for the play in onto Style, but he is able to kite back the wild growth, keeping him safe.
Yeah, just the wild growth. I think I saw a flash, but he actually still has his flash up, so it was just the spark surge really buying him some time, as my screen is freezing.
Mine has as well. It is the feed, I think. So we will hopefully have some movement soon. Because I can see, it's definitely that, by the way, to our producer, who I know is listening, it's the Discord stream. Please help us. Because I can see on the Twitch stream, it's still going.
Yes, please send help. Either way, speaking of the game...
Well, there is a fight going on. casted way out of sync because I'm having to wait through the Twitch chat delay. His style has been taken down. Drakthar's moving forward. Can they actually get anything going? We'll have to see. Is Cardi going low? Spirit rushing away. This is going to be completely out of sync. I do apologize, Twitch chat. We can't see the game right now.
Either way, this is Yado looking very, very scary and Style going down, the most important member of the GAM composition, regardless of what you think of those champions. And this is a Baron setup for the side of Cerberus. Now it's Kiaya being the miracle man, maybe for GAM actually landing all this poke, or maybe Levi yet again being the miracle man, actually contesting this with a smite. But I don't think that Cerberus has to 5v5 this one, 5v5 this one. They just go for the fight instead.
They do move in. They've picked up the kill onto Zin. The Lulu taking down Pun very low, but is able to get out safely. The baby cage holding GAM back as well. So in the end, they don't secure the Baron, but they do get themselves another kill.
Yeah, just one more kill. I actually thought that GAM is surprisingly happy with one. I just gotta say, as I also get this mid lane turret right now. So Cerberus not actually getting the big cash in on this situation. And actually now GAM having a bit of more positioning. So at the end of the day, considering it was a lost play for GAM in the bigger sequences, they kind of got a lot. I mean, they still get this turret, and they also deny the potential Baron from Cerberus. Not getting it for themselves, but still something that they can kind of live with, because as soon as Style was down, I think it's Baron time instantly for Cerberus. Cerberus thought so as well, but they couldn't really force the issue there.
It's very true, but still Cerberus just growing this lead. They did pick up that first Drake, and I know you're, a bit of a critic of the Chemtech Drake. A few of our analysts have been, particularly Marby, hates the Chemtech Drake. But for Chemtech Drake, Olaf sounds kind of broken.
It does, and I just gotta say, considering the soul, every soul is a win con, right? I mean, even they're like better souls and worse souls, and Ocean and Chemtech don't really do much if you get one shot. But when can you realistically one shot like anyone in this game after durability patch? I mean, you could maybe one shot Artemis if he is falling asleep or something on the keyboard. This could happen, but other than that, basically everyone can make up some time if they get chunked and then still get all these values from these Ocean souls or potential Chemtech souls, and especially like Olaf and Viego, they love stuff like this, of course. And Chemtech Drake's singularity also, something like an Olaf, sounds definitely decently strong. He has a lot of heals, a lot of shield power, and like some tenacity even without the ultimate. Definitely nice to have on a champion that just wants to hit people in the face.
Yeah, it's very, very true. As Levi going in, establishing some vision. Has to say it's been a very quiet game from him. Shirelia's pop. Do GAM want to try something here? No, it's just going to be a little bit of a tempted poke. We've got that dragon coming up in just under a minute. And GAM currently with control of the river, but Pun might want to change that.
Yeah, Pun might want to change it, and also Yado is like the biggest important member for the side of Cerberus over there. Otherwise, it actually, despite GAM having a horrible early game, they really stabilized, and Cerberus not really growing it, but it's 2k gold at the 23-minute mark, which is okay for them in the bigger picture. And Kiaya on the Jace had a very rough early game, still now on 2 items, Eclipse plus mana, can absolutely hurt those members in these poke situations and actually contest what Yado is doing, with him having a high range, but not as high as the Jace has. But here's a fight.
Oh, a catch in onto the Rakan, but in goes Drakthar using that ult onto the backside, tries to slip away, has Kiaya bothering him, but Pun's going to go in, try and make some space, try and at least make it a 1-for-1, but he can't do it. Having to flash out, and it's a disaster. Once again, GAM mind controls the enemy team into a bad fight. They take control here in this mid-game position. Can they turn one around? Cardi will go down, and now it's all on Artemis and Yado as they turn it into the 2v2.
It's a 2-for-2, but actually, still in the bigger picture, disaster for the side of Cerberus. Yeah, GAM even get the dragon, and it just was, I think we will see a replay of that one later on, but this is just GAM stabilizing even more in this game, getting to soul point right now, which they, I want to say, kind of don't deserve, but considering how they are really resilient and disciplined in this game, and Cerberus kind of isn't, you can argue that they actually deserve it over Cerberus, who definitely have not been snowballing the lead, and definitely they gifted early game not really paying off for them.
I love this call.
I agree.
They just TP. Yeah, they just TP'd Yado back to the mid lane, and they're just going to 3-man the Baron.
They might just be able to do this one.
I think they get this every time.
Yeah, just watch onto the mirror if Levi is in position to be strong enough and be fast enough for this one. But even with the Chemtech blast, he just isn't, right? Even the event tries to block it off.
Ulted towards it to make sure.
That's commitment, man. We love it.
I love it.
Will be done anyway. Speaking of this Heartbreaker, this was a small Heartbreaker for the side of Cerberus, as it was Draktar being baited by the stasis from Kati and then just being him on the Squishy Vego, just being in a 5v5, a very awkward situation, and Kiaya on the Jace. I mean, Juve says it all the time, still able to carry the seat, but actually killing this Vego off. So Reset City is denied, Pan only walking backwards and not forwards because he can't in the 4v5, and actually accepted that this is the lost fight in general. But here's a small overextension by the side of Kiaya and the boys. Adam is getting one kill, Yado getting the other because he's just so fat on Vega. It was a horrible fight played by Cerberus, but considering how strong Yado still is, it ended up being somewhat okay for them.
But yeah, and I mean, Cerberus, yes, they're facing down Soul Point, but they now have this Baron. They're able to continue scaling this Vega. It's now 3 items, 6 and 0, 230 farm for Yado. He is an absolute menace here on the Rift, and if Pun can just buy some space for him, there's very little that GAM can do, at least while this Baron buff persists. As a tower taken down for Cerberus, Kiaya is in the bot side, so he might be able to trade one tower back before anyone can respond.
And I think that's not enough for side of Cerberus. I mean, it's a 5v4 squad with the Baron buff, and they also are ahead in overall gold in general. And still, Kiaya trades one turret as a consolation prize, and that's, considering how behind they are, a huge consolation prize for the side of GAM, which makes it even easier for them to play this game towards these mid to late game situations. And you remember, they traded this Baron for a Chemtech Drake, and it's a Soul Point.
Levi moving in onto Drakthar, gets caught in the cage for just a moment. Cardi playing distraction in the bottom side. Ron P tries to go in, but can't quite find it. Drakthar has to flash away, but Pun will get the first kill. Onto Kiaya. There is a reset there for the Viego if he wants to move forward and grab it. Hasn't quite yet. Now he will. They force GAM running, and now they will shove down this mid lane, try and potentially crack open the base.
And this could be huge, because the wave clear is not that huge on the side of GAM in general. It is Zeri and an Ari, and the Jace just now falling down. They still have the Baron power minions. This will be an inhibitor, at least for the side of Cerberus, and them actually winning this fight means a lot for them, as GAM thought that Cerberus can be caught sleeping, but they just weren't sleeping. It will be seen in the replay later on, but it was just a very good Vega cage placed on towards the TP and Kiaya, and currently being zoned off the fight. Pan also getting to strongman style, and style definitely doesn't want to melee the Olaf in general. So Cerberus now cracking open the base and getting a lot more structure gold. Very huge thing for them.
Yeah, they will be able to back out as well, just as that Baron buff gets close to expiring. 20 seconds left on it. Levi being a little bit threatening. Cerberus really want to reset. They have a lot of gold in their inventory. They don't want to fight right now, but Levi wants to force them. I don't think he's quite going to be able to, as the stun and the snare comes in. Oh no, Ron OP betraying Artemis just a bit. The Featherstorm has been forced. They're okay.
They are okay, and I think GAM is not okay to hard force this. Just playing into this kiting back Artemis Zaya there would definitely be fatal for them. This is just now Cerberus getting to reset, getting to spend all the gold they just now earned from getting all these turrets, and this of course means a lot for them, as now Artemis is back on even items against Style yet again. It's Yado being very far ahead against Cardi in the bigger item department. He's just half an item ahead, but it's a Vega being half an item ahead of an Ari and also getting all those stacks. Look at his inventory. He's like on 294 phenomenal evil power stacks right now. This is absolutely disgusting, and he can absolutely one-shot people while still being somewhat tanky. He's just such a huge presence in general, and Cerberus still kind of had the game within their hands, but I mean, we have seen them throw games before, and we have seen any VCS team in general, the splits thrown games to GAM, because GAM had an undefeated split, so that's kind of obvious, right? But Cerberus just now can prove that they definitely deserve to be in the playoffs and can challenge GAM when everyone is on their A game, which is what I want to see from them.
Yeah, but 30 seconds on a soul fight, Princey. Could be a fight that really does decide this game. 4k gold lead for Cerberus at 30 minutes, largely irrelevant. Levi getting away from the Drakthar W, as they are going to crash this wave in. GAM forced to respond to Cerberus.
And just these inventorizing cages just to make these siege situations even easier for them. This is Artemis walking up to the turret and just clearing it out before even really being contested by GAM.
Trade an inhib for drag?
I mean, they can afford it, right? I mean,
Style,
Cerberus cannot
that's
afford
a
to give
disaster.
away. Why is he so low?
Style.
It shouldn't be possible.
He was tanking the tower. He took 3 tower shots.
And this ultimately lets them not this turret. Otherwise, it would have been just a turret trade, which is of course beneficial for the side of GAM. Because the thing is, like, GAM can afford to drop a Drake, but it's just one virtual Chemtech Drake, which is of course not nice to give away in general, like, especially against Olaf and Viego. But for Cerberus to give away Drake away to GAM would be fatal, right? It would just be them having the soul, so GAM can afford to go for these kind of trades. But with style botching it like this, it ended up just being a freebie for Cerberus, just a small freebie, but still something that hurts in the bigger picture. And GAM just showing some jitters in general today. Like from draft to the gameplay, I don't like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I have to agree. This is not the best showing from our first place team. But I think, and this is a little bit of a broken record. I know we've been saying it a lot, but I think Yado, basically, it's down to him. If he makes a mistake, then GAM can win. But if he plays perfectly, I actually just don't see a path to victory.
I agree. I think it just falls down to Yado making this plays. I mean, he's just such a strong siege commander or just objective commander in general, with all the presence he really has in these situations. And the rest just kind of has to follow suit what really Yado's doing. And as long as Yado isn't really overextending, he should be fine in any situation. And I think Yado agrees. He just goes for the stopwatch and going for the Zona's Hourglass as the fourth item to just have one extra safety net, potentially, to play in towards GAM. Him eating this shock blast definitely hurt though, because he is getting slowed by the Cerberus Grudge. And 1OP is in the flank. This could just be Cerberus baiting a fight because you don't want to 50-50 GAM, especially not Levi.
Yeah, but Levi goes over and it's stolen by Carty! He steals it over the wall and oh no! It happens every time, Crincy. Pun moving forward, but he can't do anything. The Featherstorm having to come out. The fight is split on the top side. Yado can get nothing done. He's faced with tanks. He's faced with a job. He's gonna be taken down. And GAM always managed to do it. They always managed to find a way back into the game. Yado actually still alive just for now till Kiaya brings down the hammer.
I expected nothing and I'm still disappointed. I mean, it always happens against GAM. I was speaking about it like 10 seconds ago. You don't want to 50-50 against GAM. It actually ends up being Kati on the Ari to really steal away the Baron. It's absolutely disgusting that this can still happen. And that GAM always gets away with it. At the end of the day, it's just 2 kills for them. Not like the biggest end of the world. But they had such a beautiful setup with this potential flank from 1OP, which still kind of fell off. But it was actually just Kati being able to steal away the Baron. Actually, Levi not using Smite, if I see that correctly on the interface. And this just now, it's just of course a one fight for the side of GAM. The members of Cerberus very much split up, and it is just, I think, 1 or 2 kills going over to them, and just some time lost. Also, the Baron not going down. Levi at least also going down to get like some stacks back to Yado, who still bought a lot of time in the situation. But this absolutely shouldn't have happened. That this is just now GAM showing their resilience, showing their mental fortitude that they, despite having a bit of a rough one in the early to mid game, or just even still until now, that they are only down if you actually explode their Nexus.
I'm so mad. Why have they 50-50'd there? I just don't understand. Like, okay, yeah, we can talk about how an Ari stole it, which means it was a missmite by Drakthar. But even if it wasn't the Ari, even if Levi had just gone in and smited it, just don't do that.
Yeah, the decision itself is absolutely baffling.
What? You don't need the Baron right there. It's not like you were mission critical. We need Baron right now or we're in a lot of trouble. Like, you could have just played, you could have just done the dance.
It's not about getting it stolen. It's about that being like a potential steal in the first place.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It shouldn't happen. 1OP had such a good flank situation, and you can do damage to us. I mean, you have seen it in other regions by now, as GAM is now pushing upwards and getting one inner turret over there and actually equalizing the goat lead from what I can see. And this just now being a very close game, and it just shouldn't be close. But GAM gifted this game away in the early game, giving 2 kills to Pan, 1 kill in the 2v2 in the bot lane. Also Yado getting his first kill. It looked so fantastic for side of Cerberus. The draft, the early game plan working out, them having scaling pick that counter pick the enemy lane opponent, which is something that really shouldn't happen, especially on blue side. And now it's an even game, and this kind of it kind of annoys me.
This is painful. This hurts.
I mean, on the upside, glass half full, right? The barrel is about to expire. The gold is still remotely even. It will be soul point for GAM, but there's like 30 more seconds for this Drake itself, and the mid lane priority just now being established for them. Definitely something that Cerberus can contest right now, so the game is still very, very close. It is a 50-50 game by now, I would say, but it should have been like an 80-20 for Cerberus.
It absolutely should be, but as you said, they are still alive. 10 seconds on the Dragon as Cerberus are moving forward. Artem is so incredibly aggressive, using his Gale Force. That's now going to be down for any potential fight, Drakthar. Moving
Kati's
in, they
also
are going to
as well.
try and fight them. They're not 50-50ing this one. They're trying to take a fight.
But GAM is splitting them away, right? There's Kiaya on the sideline just pushing for this top lane turret, just now going for the inhib, so it would be the 5v4 in the mid lane, but Pan is now answering him, and he is too late.
Caught, but Heart breaks away. The engage turns around onto Levi, but he's so tanky. Artemis moving in onto Style. Can they blow him up? They put him into the GA. They have to finish him off, though. Can they do that? No, he gets away, gets healed. Drakthar taken down to half health. Artemis as well. They are bleeding. On the top side, there is a fight between Pun and Kiaya. Pun actually losing that one, has to back off. Kiaya's going to continue pushing into the base as Cerberus move over to the Dragon. This one is going to be close. Kiaya now recalling, has teleport, can join the fight. The Dragon going down to 4,000 health, 2,000 health. It's about to get into smite range. There it is. Now Cerberus just have to evacuate the area. Can they find the fire escape? It looks like they can, but Levi comes over the wall, blocks the exit, and says, no, you're trapped here with me. No, he's backed off now. 1/3 health. Pun entering the fight. Drakthar doing a good job blocking any potential engage for GAM, and Cerberus will find their way out.
Yeah, they find their way out. They eventually traded for this inhibitor turret in the top lane, with Kiaya actually beating Pan by now, because he on the Jace right now, he kind of did outscale because he's just all the war damage, and Olaf just kind of now is a champion that can ignore the CC, but against the war damage from the Jace output, he still kind of struggles, but in performance squad fight, it was actually Style losing his flash, losing his GA, also Kali losing his GA, was a very good catch by Yado yet again to really swing at least this 4v4 situation in the favor of Cerberus, with them getting away with the Chemtech soul point themselves by now, having 3 Chemtech lakes in their own arsenal, and this just now makes the game even closer, right? Cerberus, I would say, are, despite this huge fumble they had earlier, a tiny bit ahead in general, just by what they really have in their arsenal, with Artemis being on 4 items, with Yado having all these 3 stacks. It is around 350 and some more on this passive alone. That's just a AP count. That's a passive alone, and it's still just fight that they can definitely be played out on the other side. And Zevi also struggles to play inside something like a Vega cage, so it's very hard for GAM to play. But they are playing it well. I just gotta give credit to GAM by now, because they definitely are still within the realms of winning this game, despite it being a game they absolutely should have no business to be in so far. But Cerberus now on the Chemtech soul point, definitely getting a small reward. And now let's wait and see how this game plays out. It's absolutely close, and we didn't expect to go into the series with such a banger.
No, we did not, but a banger we've gotten. Oh, don't do it again, Cerberus.
They are.
We can't have this 2 times in a game. On the bottom side, Kiaya and Pun having a scrap. Pun is winning it. There we go. Cerberus secure the Baron. Now just get out of here. Just leave the river, fellas. Get on out. No, they're going to engage. They go in onto Levi. Styles a problem on the side, though. Yado trying to burst him out. They do it successfully. Zin going down as well as Cerberus pick up 2. Pun managing to hold his own on the bottom side as well. Against a rampaging Kiaya, he can't fight him, because he'll get one shot by the Hammerform combo, but is able to clear them out. Now, with a Baron, with 2 kills picked up, they can move on forward and try and deal a death blow.
Yeah, they absolutely should go for this one. And actually, Pun maybe stopping Kiaya in the recall, but actually is also going for a strong push on his own some, with those 2 members falling down, and Baron also being on the table. It could just be Cerberus going for the game right here, right now. The death times are still on, and actually flip the Baron. I think they should. Go for the game right now, you might just have done it.
You have Veigar ult, you just popped Cardi's spell shield as well. You can move in, you've got so much space with that baby cage. Drop down between the towers, Levi stunned up for just a moment. Can they find anything? Can GAM fight back into this one? Levi solo goes gold, Pun goes down, and with Zin respawning, I think Cerberus have to back off. Look at that damage coming in from Kiaya. They turn it around, they take down Cardi, but that's not a damage threat. That's merely a utility threat, so Cerberus will back off. And they fight. Oh no!
Kiaya.
OP sniped on the way out. I don't know if it's going to matter. He'll respawn before the Dragon, but still, Kiaya with some excellent snipes.
And GAM absolutely holding their own in this situation. It's definitely not easy to fight without your AD carry, without your enchanter support over there, but Kiaya especially being such a menace in these base defenses, just sniping out 1 OP, also in the lower end, also Pun just going for the dive and just getting chunked down, getting to fall down, with Yado being the one who actually finishes off Kati to at least get 1 kill back on the side of Cerberus, and they tried to end the game right there, didn't even get a single Nexus to it, so GAM holds on for now. It is, of course, with the death timers respawning, it will be Cerberus with the full man squad, but GAM now in position to secure this vision around this Chemtech Soul Drake for both teams by now, and this is of course something that they really want to work around. Both teams having the poke element, with Kiai being on the one side, Yado on the other side, and they definitely want to contest all these vision areas. It is now GAM with the upper hand in this area. However, Cerberus still has Baron for more than 40 seconds, so they can still easily secure this mid lane priority. Also, with the inhibitor being down, it should be done on its own as well, and they have now some time to move inside the Drake area.
They do. Cerberus, 30 seconds out from Dragon, are in a fantastic position. Their Baron buff will time out just before it spawns. So they want to try and leverage their minions to be in a good position, but Kiaya and Kati making sure that the side lanes actually heavily favor GAM. We might actually have a bit of a race coming in. Levi's moving towards the base.
Yeah, Levi is, so they are giving away this Chemtech Soul Wake, and now it's just Pan having to defend against Kiaya and Levi as well. The inhibitor will of course fall, and will just be potentially Cerberus rushing down this Drake and then going for the defense.
I don't think it's going to work. Now,
I also disagree. It's Chem Soul. Yeah, they are not synced at all for the side of GAM. They aren't really syncing it together with the push, and Pan could easily at least wave clear this one at this Nexus turret, so they aren't really diving in Olaf. I mean, it would be an insane call for the side of GAM, and I think GAM went for a trade that could never have worked out.
We do still have an inhib now down when the Baron will spawn, but that's 2.5 minutes away. That's 2.5 minutes of Cerberus with Soul Dratha. Be careful, mate. You need to think really hard as he will move forward, sees the charm. It doesn't land. He dodges away.
But he didn't really see the charm inside it. It was just Kati missing this one. And it's kind of an awkward situation, but they were trapping for Draktar, but Draktar was also invisible. So kind of no one really seeing the other one, but they also kind of sniffing it out that there was something about to happen. But at the end of the day, not really anything happening. And this, in my opinion, a very huge win for Cerberus for now at least. For Chemtech Drake and the Chemtech Soul. Soul is being, labeled as the weakest soul in general. So let's wait and see how it really plays out. It is a Chemtech Soul, of course, on Olaf and Viego of all people. So yeah, maybe something to write home about on their side, as the next Baron will spawn in more than a minute actually, since this shouldn't be a flip for the Cerberus side. I mean, they definitely need to work on their control overall, and this game now an absolute banger. It's just such a great game to start off the series with, and Cerberus definitely holding on more than we initially expected, but they also showing like the usual Cerberus side where random people get picked off, where they just go for a flip that shouldn't be a flip in the first place, and them just not snowballing their lead. So if GAM wins this one, they can't be too mad about it either. But they definitely will be if they lose this one.
It's interesting. Sorry, I shouldn't say interesting. The big problem here for Cerberus is that they don't really have anyone that can 1v1 answer Kiaya. He's now a full build Jace. He has well and truly outscaled this Olaf. Not that I think Olaf falls off, but Jace absolutely scales hard. He can just stay in the bot lane, and he potentially forces two people to answer him, or even if it's just Pun that tries to clear the wave, if he misplays that at all, we may well just have Kiaya end the game.
I agree. I think maybe Yado could only run, but you don't want Yado in the side lane. That's just not a good idea in general, because Yado is one controlling those 4-man squads, 5-man squad situations. And if Yado is going for the side lane answer, you already won on side of GAM. And now Kiaya is getting hit by one other tower.
Baron, and you're down in the bot lane.
Yeah, Cardiff there as well, but he doesn't have a TP. Kiaya has, so that's also one thing that GAM can just do, right? They use his TP advantage from Kiaya, while he's the one running people. He can absolutely draw the map apart to some extent and make it hard for Cerberus to really contest anything. And Kiaya could join this team, so even if you answer Kiaya and can do it in the 1v1, he can just TP to his team and force a 5v4 situation.
I think GAM might have checkmated here. Cerberus has to roll the dice. They have to engage like right now. And they don't have Yado. This is a disaster.
Nah, then they are not forcing the Baron itself, and that's just 2v2 in the bot. Actually, Yado's doing what I just not that. He's not going for the multiple squad engage.
Levi, if Levi steals this, it's an absolute disaster, but don't let him. Well done there. Cerberus will secure the Baron. They go in. They actually kill Cardi. They kill Levi. Okay, I was wrong about checkmate. He was very much not. As Pun now running Kiaya down. Can they land anything more? They can. It's the nuclear missile going in. He'll res on the baby cage. Shut down. 3 members of GAM are dead.
Yeah, 3 members of GAM are dead. This might just be the Cerberus actually going for the checkmate on the side of GAM this for now. 3-4-0 for them to actually get the Baron. Beautiful this time that it looks like they will 50-50 it. But then, yeah, of course, this is the game over right now. I mean, the Minwave not an ideal position, but it's just 5 versus 2 right now. The wave clear not ideal. I think Kiaya will respawn, so it will be a 5v3. He actually has decent damage, decent wave clear in general. But this is Baron on Cerberus side. It's Chemsol on Cerberus side. This should be the end of the game.
It absolutely should be. In here will fall. It is still 10 seconds. That's not very long, Crincy. We may have one final fight left in a style, ulting and getting away. Locked up for now. They're not even going to hit him. They're just going to take the towers. They're going to hit the Nexus. And Cerberus, the 4th place team, up against the undefeated GAM, will get up to a 1-0 lead.